Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this new Esports Arena stream. I am Connor. I'll be your host today, and I'm joined here with Matt. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to you know cast a couple games of Smash, but I'm glad to be back on my home turf.
Yeah. We're playing Overwatch tonight,
We
right? So
are,
I'm
we are.
excited for that. We're going to be going up against uOttawa Garnet. So both of these teams are 5-1 in the series right now in this league. So it's going to be a really close match, I think, tonight. I'm excited to see what they have to bring to the table. And we are going to go over the maps. Our map order is Lijiang Tower with Control, Kings Row, Dorado, New Queen Street, and Oasis. What do you feel about these maps?
I mean,
at first
honestly,
glance?
I think like in terms of fun factor, these are like some of the most fun maps in the game.
I agree.
I think some people would argue with me on New Queen Street, but honestly, I vibe with New Queen Street.
Yeah.
Like it looks cool, it plays cool. It's not as samey as Colosseo, because Colosseo feels very set to me, feels very rigid, whereas New Queen Street has kind of a surprise factor. I feel like in that like it can swing a lot more.
Yeah. I definitely like New Queen Street, and we've seen a lot of like innovative plays come out with that in general. Like for example, that back alley route that everyone started to take, and I mean, it's in general a really hard map to play on that first point. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm really interested to see, especially with how the meta's been changing so rapidly over the past week, 2 weeks, with
Right.
the news of the new patch coming out on the 15th. I'm really interested to see how these teams adapt to it. Of course, there's a possibility that we don't even get to see that, so let's not
Yeah.
count the chickens before they hatch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I am always looking forward to change like that and seeing how the teams adapt and react to it. But we are playing on the previous patch where Zarya is not nerfed, so
Correct.
probably see a lot of Zarya. Also, the monkey comp, as I call it, the banana split comp. We probably will be seeing a little bit of that too. You
Yep.
think?
Yeah. In my experience, I've been scrimming a lot fairly recently, and most teams have been running either the monkey comp, the banana rush, the banana split,
Uh huh.
whatever term you fancy,
Right.
or there's actually a hog comp
Oh, there is.
that's been getting run a lot recently, especially in contenders. Of course, that's on new patch, which is not out yet.
Right.
But a lot of teams are trying to be preemptive. Now that we know what this next meta is probably going to be, a lot of teams are trying to get ahead of the eight ball.
Right. Yeah. That's
and
why we
leaving
see.
Zarya in the dust.
Yeah, we see a lot of teams actually running Winston now instead of Zarya, right?
Yeah.
But what does Roadhog have to offer in this new patch? What are they changing about him?
It's just like a lot of pick potential from what I've heard. We haven't
Okay.
played it personally because we've been kind of farming on the Winston comp.
Yeah.
Like, the Winston comp is really good because it's so strong at isolating squishy targets and just burning burning everything down, collapsing a team, and just winning the fight.
Right. Yeah.
But that hog gives a lot of pick potential and has a very big like threat aura.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Where when Hog's hook is out, you have to be very, very careful treading around that hook's range. Once that's out, though, that's your go button.
Yeah. Right. Definitely. I think Hog is definitely one of those or heroes that are really cooldown oriented.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
It's, I mean, not really. Well, definitely with his hook. I don't know about his heal as much because he's always got
Yeah.
his supports in the back there
Yeah,
to
but
carry him, or not carry him, but
well,
heal him
especially
well.
with Reaper being so common, those what 450 heals now, 350 heals, 350 heals. Those are really, really integral in being able to survive through a fight, because it's really like Kiriko, Lucio, Kiriko, Ana, those types of healing comps where your Ana is a single target healer and your Kiriko has some multi-target healing, but when it's split, it's not like the best. It's not the most solid healing in the game.
Right.
So that heal button is also a go button. The other thing with Hog is his ult pairs so incredibly well with that Kiriko Kitsune rush.
Oh yeah.
Just you know how Ho-Hog is really fast? It does a
Yeah.
lot of damage. Double that.
Does it like not shorten the duration? It
Nope.
doesn't.
Nope.
Just doubles the attack speed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah. It's
sounds-
crazy. It's
that
crazy.
sounds so good.
If uOttawa runs the Hog tonight, we are probably gonna see it.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally, I feel like Hog generally. I mean, you don't have any way to really protect people from actually shooting you, so you do give up a lot of ult charge. But with that Kiriko, it sounds completely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, ult charge is really interesting in Overwatch because, you know, both teams can feed even if they're not going in.
Yeah, right.
You know.
And we are ready to go into game here. Our players are all lined up and ready. Both teams ready to go at it here on our first map, Lijiang.
I'm seeing a lot of smiles over there at the over on the players, which is always a good sign going into a match.
Yeah.
This is probably going to go into a bit of a banger territory, knowing these teams. And if I'm not incorrect, I think I see a Zarya on the side of a uOttawa Garnet in the pregame here. Let's see if my suspicions are correct. They are.
Yeah, there is a Zarya there. They are running that Zarya comp. They also got a couple interesting other picks there. They got the Symmetra, which I assume is for the rollout, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they have the Junkrat too.
Yeah, that Junkrat. It's a little silly.
It's not committed yet. They still got time.
No, but if there's any map that you're gonna run it, it's here. It's on Control Center where there's so much control that Junkrat can get in that left side server room. They're gonna look to go straight through, control this left room. Meanwhile, SNHU is gonna look to go straight to point.
Yeah, they didn't use the Symmetra rollout, but they got there about the same time with, I think, one trick boosting him with the Lucio.
Yes.
And we see straight up Menet flanking around here, and Rhino buying a lot of space. That Zap multi-target is just so useful here. And Pepto's going to find Gergs there very early. A very good pick. Pepto finding Norman as well. Now uOttawa is forced to kind of back off, give the first point here to SNHU.
Yeah, that rotation is kind of an autopilot move. That rotation through server has been so common for so long that a lot of teams still stick to it. But with these comps, it doesn't work.
Right, yeah, and now Rhino is actually going to be able to step up very far here. He is still in there, and his DPSs are kind of being forced back by Innocent here, back onto point, and we see the other DPSs flanking around here. One trick taking a little bit of damage from the Reaper on uOttawa, but Pepto's finding Supreme, and Straight Up Menace finding Innocent. A pick of his own is just collapsing here from here. Straight Up Menace also going to find Norman in that 1v1 Pepto, trying to get as much worth off of this push as possible here, but they might be forced to back up.
Yeah, I'm noticing too that uOttawa, after that first fight, immediately swaps to the mirror, and I think that's going to be a pattern throughout the night. That Zarya comp, it's strong, but this comp is stronger, even without the nerfs. That is getting a little low on the corner there.
Yeah, and there's a Kitsune rush there from Volcano, and it's going to come out a lot of damage, but their supports are looking low. Rhino's going to find Ice Volcano, and Straight Up Menace is getting picked by Norman. Gerg's going to find Rhino. Now, the numbers on the SNHU is looking a little bit slim here on numbers.
You know, you say that, but uOttawa's going really slow here.
Yeah, they're still managing to hold this here.
Yeah, this is going to be where they take it.
Ooh, or one trick out with the beat here, and Rhino also has the monkey there.
I think we're gonna watch Menace here. Menace with that Blossom must have gotten pooped or something. That's really unfortunate.
Goes a little bit wide here, but that's not going to stop him from finding a lot of damage on Supreme, but not enough before he gets picked by Innocent there with the Primal Rage. Rhino pops out his own Primal Rage there, but it won't be long after that he falls.
I mean, the saving grace for SNHU is with stalling that for so long. You're in last fight territory. Once you recap, you're going to be on the you're going to be in the driver's seat. The problem is uOttawa Garnet has two DPS ults and is in the lead for both support ults. SNHU is going to have to take a couple dry pushes just to get the ult economy back up and running. As I say that though, Pepto comes in clutch.
Yeah, and the invol's going to come out, but that's not stopping Pepto from getting these two headshots here.
Yeah, these slow fields from Pepto coming in are so clutch. Just being able to make sure that uOttawa can't get any space. Any space that they have is null and void when they're taking like 200 damage over the course of the orb lifespan.
Norman going to be able to contest that point, get that touch. He has to Wraith out, but it might not be enough to save his life. Pepto's going to find him, and a lot of players from SNHU are looking low right now. Lucio going to try to push Pepto off that high ground here, but Innocent is looking very low. They have targeted him. He does not have his ult yet, and he is going to actually take out both of the supports from SNHU. Pepto's looking very low. It is kind of downhill here from SNHU. and Rhino is just going to reset on point here.
Innocent walked out of spawn,
Yeah.
said we are not losing this year. That was a really good fight for Innocent. Could have been very, very tragic for uOttawa Garnet. Norman goes down really early with the Death Blossom. That could have been tragic. That would have been one of those plays that you think about days later.
Right, yeah, and they got 2 picks here with the beat. Supreme is going to buy a lot of space here for his team. They're going to be able to push him into spawn right now.
Yeah, this ult economy is looking worse and worse for SNHU. uOttawa sitting with 4 ultimates. That Kitsune Rush Blossom, that's enough to end the fight immediately.
Yeah.
Just so much damage comes out so quick, and you can tell they're looking for it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to buy a lot of time if they're able to shut it down here. The Kitsune Rush actually does come out, and Supreme's looking very low. Norman gets the Death Blossom up, but it's not enough to take anyone out from SNHU here. The Pulse Bomb goes on to One Trick and Straight Up Menace. Going to find both of them there. Gruggs looking very low, is forced to recall, but doesn't fail to find Rhino there. A very good pick. uOttawa's just going to get away with murder here.
You know, we say that, but this is last fight, and SNHU coming in with 5 ults to uOttawa Garnet's 1. Supreme already low. They're going to be up.
Right,
they're
they
going to
need
have to
this
kite back
touch
a little bit here.
And they got the Kitsune Rush here. Supreme, or he's gonna hold on to his ult there. He has the Wraith, and there goes the Blossom. It goes a little bit wide, but Supreme actually finds Pepto on that high ground, and they have the contest right now for the overtime. But Straight Up Menace falls right there a little bit after they got that touch, and then Rhino has the Primal. Is going to be able to buy a lot of time here, but he gets booped off of the point right now. It is really up to him to stall as long as he can for another player from SNHU to get here, but it might not be enough time. Pepto almost there with the touch.
Yeah, that's just really unfortunate. Those Blossoms just getting spotted really well from uOttawa Garnet, and then uOttawa Garnet coming in with like 2 or 3 separate hero plays,
Yeah.
absolutely saving the game for them in 2 or 3 separate fights. You know, big shout outs to the individual play from uOttawa Garnet, especially from Innocent and Supreme, I think it was. Just really
for
shutting
sure.
down pushes immediately in fights that they should not have won.
Yeah, I think that uOttawa, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they've done a really good job of spotting exactly when they're going to use their ultimates here from SNHU, and they have made sure to kind of take all the countermeasures to make sure they have like little to no efficiency.
Yeah, I think uOttawa Garnet had that slow start from just picking the wrong comp.
Yeah.
But from here, they've been looking really solid. We're going to look for a Sojourn slow orb here to really start this fight.
Yeah, Menace burns his Wraith up very early there. He's going to have to step back here for a second, but he's going to have it up again. And uOttawa's looking to get control here, but they got the touch. Straight Up Menace going in, going to find Innocent. Gurgs gets a headshot on One Trick, but Pepto clapping right back on Ice Volcano. Biso looking very low, same with Norman. But they got the supports. He's going to find Norman in the lifesteal, keeping him alive. He does not fall yet. He is not done. He's going to continue to just nail into uOttawa here, and that is the first point for SNHU.
Yeah, I want to point out Menace playing really, really smart there. Menace was taking that duel in Pepto's slow field so that no one could really aggress on him without risking their own death. Especially since the rest of the team for uOttawa was really squishy. That was such a smart play.
Yeah, for sure. And now they're going to try to play around this corner here. But nice positioning of that slow field from Pepto there. The overclock comes out from Gurgs. Going to find 2. Norman finding Rhino, and Gurgs going to clean up Straight Up Menace. Now it's just Biso here.
Yeah, Sojourn's a character.
Yeah.
That was a Sojourn fight right there. You know, she's really fun to watch, but man, sometimes those fights are not fun to play into.
Yeah, for sure. Sojourn is probably one of the most hostile characters in this game, I feel like. And the Kitsune Rush comes out with the invuln from SNHU. Gonna buy a lot of space here for SNHU, but the beat is there to counteract the Kitsune Rush. Gurg's gonna lose his shield there from Pepto. He has his overclock. Gonna find the headshot on Norman.
Yeah,
and
Norman's
they
just standing on the health back there.
Yeah, and the Death Blossom from Straight Up Menace gonna find 2, and that is the point for SNHU. They get to capture that.
Yeah, uOttawa does have that Blossom Rush combo which can just end a fight immediately. One Trick is going to be looking for a very, very solid beat here. This fight is going to be all about cooldown management. Both these comps rely on big cooldowns like that slow field, so we're going to have to see which one comes out better.
Oh, SNHU kind of just split their team in half there, but Norman is going to make up for it with the double kill on that Death Blossom. Looking for One Trick here. Will he find him? He is very low. He's going to be able to get that kill on One Trick. And now Innocent is working with Primal, and so is Rhino. It's going to be really up to, I feel like, these two tanks to maneuver the next fight here for this point.
Yeah. Primal is one of those ults that is very, very high skill ceiling.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you're not going to see get a huge amount of kills. There is some environmental kill potential on this map, but I wouldn't go for it.
Right.
At the same time, Norman goes down. This is going to be a go button.
Yeah, this definitely, they have their pick that they wanted. They've been searching for it, and now they're just going to try to force people off of the rest of their team. I think the Gurks was so split there, and Ice Volcano is going to get melted by Rhino along with Supreme, finding that double kill. Innocence is stalling for their team right now. He has his ult. Gurgs is going to be harassed by One Trick right now. Actually has the overclock. One Trick actually just buying so much time, not even going to be able to use that overclock.
That's just an ego duel right there.
Yeah.
One Trick coming in, sees Gurgs with the overclock, says, I don't think so, and just goes in, gets the kill. That probably was a major factor in why they won that fight for SNHU.
Yeah, One Trick pushed him off that sight line there. Pepto gonna throw down that slow field. Innocence looking very low. He is separated from his team right now. This might be a pick, but Supreme is there to hold him back. And now Pepto's got his overclock, but Supreme does find Rhino. They're gonna try to buy as much time on this point as they can. They rotate to the point, but One Trick gets picked by Ice Volcano there. And Pepto is just gonna be weaving in and out here as long as he can, but he does eventually fall to Innocent there.
One thing I just noticed here, uOttawa just swapped to the Moira.
Yeah, they got that Moira during that fight.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. We're going into last fight territory. A lot of ults coming up from both sides. We're going to have to see who uses them better here. SNHU with basically all but the Primal. That beat is going to build up in the mid fight. uOttawa is going to have to be really, really decisive with this first fight so that Taylor One Trick cannot get that value.
Right, and I think that was the Death Blossom from Straight Up Menace, but the beat comes out, and Norman is going to find Biso with his own Death Blossom. Straight Up Menace looking very low, but Norman also has to rate there. Pepto is looking also low. Innocence finds the leap there, and now they are down at DPS. Innocent, I mean, just going to be able to pop that Primal. He's in Wraith, but not for long. He pushes him off of the point there, and that is the first map for uOttawa Garnet.
Yeah, very, very solid map from both sides. I think this is going to be legitimately banger territory.
Yeah.
Both teams showing both great individual play and very, very good team play. And I think this is one of those comps, and Overwatch 2 in general is a comp where is a game where individual skill can really be showcased to a degree that Overwatch 1 was not able to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think these two teams are really going at it here tonight, and I mean, I completely agree with you. How I feel like not only on a team level, but individually, we saw a lot of really impressive plays tonight. I feel like,
yeah.
Especially with One Trick, forcing Gurgs off of that sight line. Gurgs did get that overclock play of the game, but at the same time, that was another overclock that One Trick just completely denied. But we're going to take a look at the maps again. We are now going to King's Row.
Good map.
Yeah,
good map. I know it's not going to happen. I want some good old Rhine duel, honest Overwatch.
You do? Yeah.
It's not going to happen because he's not a good character.
Oh,
but man, I love me some honest Overwatch.
I would love to see some Reinhardt. Reinhardt is you're right. I feel like he's such an honest character.
Yeah.
And he's pretty fun to watch, too, at a high level.
Absolutely.
He's so good. But, yeah, with this King's Row, it's going to be hybrid. I think this is one of my favorite maps.
Yeah. That is freezing cold take.
You think so? I like this map.
Yeah, that is below zero.
What do you? I like this map.
Yes,
I think it's
yes,
fun.
That is not a hot take.
Okay.
That is a freezing cold. Arctic take.
Yeah, I feel like this is really a fundamentals
Yeah,
map.
this is regarded as one of the best maps in the entire game, probably the best map in the entire game. Just aesthetically, it looks great, and it's really simple, and I think that's what makes it so fun to play. There are great flank angles, but at the same time, it's very it can be played very linear, which is why you see those rush comps come out so often in games like Overwatch 1.
Yeah, and we are going into map here, some Kings Row. I'm very excited.
Kings Row Gaming. It's always fun. This map has the moniker of Scrims Row, and it's because it just gets played all the time, even if it's not in your map pool.
Yeah.
You just end the night on Kings Row.
Yeah.
Because it just makes everybody feel happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Some nice old Overwatch. I feel like this is just such a classic map for Overwatch.
Yeah.
And so we have uOttawa on the defending side first here. And they pulled out.
I do believe that Bastion is bait. I think I see the Bastion walking back to spawn.
Is he? Yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, I feel like they're just gonna keep doing this to us. They're just gonna keep baiting us. I was thinking like if they were on offense, like it was for in case there was a Reinhardt, they could just shred them there. But this doesn't seem like it's gonna be that way. He's gonna switch to the Sojourn, some boring watch.
Yeah, at this division, you know you're going to be playing teams that are pretty hard meta.
Yeah.
You know, we're not quite at the level where I think those individual players can really pick up a niche hero and shine. I could be proven wrong, you know, but this is a very much a meta tier.
Yeah. SNHU's looking pretty split here and low as well. Biso's going to be able to heal him up a lot. Pepto's going to find Innocent. Both tanks are down now. And Pepto also finds Norman. It's really up to the DPSs to kind of secure a lead right now. And they do have the picks right now. They have the numbers. They are up one player. And they just kind of force uOttawa off the point here, but it doesn't really seem like for long. They might not get the full point off this.
Yeah.
Straight Up Menace is looking at this high ground right now, though.
uOttawa just kited back so that they could get their Winston back, get those picks, but at the same time, Straight Up Menace gets an early pick onto Norman. That's so huge. And now Rhino taking so much space, forcing these squishies back.
Right, yeah, he's going to leap up there out of the slow field, get a little bit more of the heals, and also waiting for his bubble cooldown. I feel like that was pretty well played.
Yeah, that's such a fundamental play on Winston, especially at a choke like that where there's so much natural cover. You're low, you just jump up, get the pressure off you, and then you can go back in. That'll give your healers a little bit of time to get you up, and you know, will give you a little bit of time to reassess the situation. Speaking of healers, Biso has that Kitsune Rush, and now uOttawa committing to that Moira, so no Kitsune Rush to answer with, and there's no beat up for uOttawa either. This could be very much an uncontested Kitsune Rush.
Norman's on the flank right now, and Pepto is very low. He has the overclock. He is able to get a lot of damage out, but the beat comes out for Sapphire, and Straight Up Menace finding Ice Volcano along with Rhino finding Gurgs. Straight Up Menace just cleaning up right now is going to be able to find Norman or Innocent there too.
Yeah, they're gonna be looking for this late kill on Supreme. Gonna realize that it's probably not worth. uOttawa is gonna be coming back right about now. As fun as it would be to chase that kill to spawn, probably not the safe play.
Right, and this is such a decisive push here from SNHU. They have 4 minutes on the clock, and they're almost at second point right now.
Yeah, I don't really see the utility of Moira in this comp. She's certainly mobile, but with that
what a big blossom. The beat comes out in defense for it, and Straight Up Menace gets picked before he can go into right there. And now it's looking very grim. Gurgs is going to take a duel with Pepto. Pepto finds that there and does not find Supreme there, but he does get his worth out of that 1-for-1.
Yeah, uOttawa again. I think their biggest strength in this matchup so far has been that ult economy. A lot more disciplined, I want to say, with the ults, just giving them that kind of unseen advantage in most fights.
Right, yeah, and I feel like they're really they make all these ults look like really playmaking ults, like the beat on the Death Blossom there. But Rhino is already going straight in there. He is in the middle of 4 people right now. Pepto taking a duel with Dorman, and the boop is going to completely cancel that Death Blossom there. And Pepto finds him as he hits the ground.
One Trick joined us last year. I can tell you from experience, that man, such a grinder, so committed to improving, and it shows. Consistently such a solid player.
Yeah, for sure. And Pepto is just dishing out the damage with that overclock there. Innocent's going to buy as much time as he can, and the Kitsune Rush comes out from SNHU. They have a lot of damage right now. Norman is not going to be able to withstand that. Innocent Gurks all falling. Supreme is the last person on point, and they get that second point capture there, giving them 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, big team kill. Fortunately, does not count for weeklies. You know, gotta get that Battle Pass XP, but
Yeah.
you'll have to do it somewhere else. Meanwhile, SNHU Sapphire has a lot of ults. uOttawa Garnet must have committed a lot in that fight for not much value.
Ooh, the Death Blossom is going to come out from Straight Up Menace. He does find Supreme off that and almost finds the other support, but he has to wraith back to his team. They are playing so up right now and buying so much space. I feel like the payload has moved so much, it's almost halfway there now.
Yeah, this is so good because SNHU is still at the point where like spawns are about even. Viso gets a huge headshot onto Norman.
And now the Moira ult does not come out. Pepto is going to be able to get that overclock, a lot of worth out of it. Rhino has his Primal Rage along with the beat from SNHU, and this is just going to be such a strong push. Rhino's going to be able to hold them back here in their spawn, but in the meantime, they just going to cap that point.
Yeah, that is some good, solid, really strong Overwatch. That is how that map is supposed to be played, and that is exactly how SNHU Sapphire wanted that map to go down.
Right, yeah, they well, from the sounds of it, you being a player, I feel like this is one of your most practiced maps, am I wrong? No?
No. This
It's just
is
the most fun
absolutely
map.
like one of our most played maps, if
Okay.
only because every single scrim, everybody wants to play King's Row.
Yeah.
Even, you know, in any team you go to, if you watching this right now, go into your local Overwatch Discord, say, I'm looking for team, I want to scrim. Your first scrim, it's either going to start or it's going to end with King's Row.
Yeah.
Unless it's in the map pool, then it'll just happen when it happens. But it's really just one of those maps that everybody loves.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't think there is a single person I've ever met that actively dislikes King's Row. Every other map has some dissenters, but King's Row is just, you know, like the statue in the middle of the road there. Just all about peace, love, and, you know, just enjoying the ride. It's a really fun map.
That's what it's all about. That's what King's Row is about. But they don't really have people up there spotting in that little window, and they have these 2 players from SNHU, what you might call the front line, in that little little alcove in the statue. They might not expect it here walking on the point, and they also have a mirror comp there, but Straight Up Menace is going to buy a lot of space with Rhino here. They're both working very hard, but Rhino is just going to get bursted there by Norman, and Innocent cleaning up. Straight Up Menace has to wraith out of there. It's such a strong push coming out from uOttawa here.
I'm very interested to see if Straight Up Menace can get value out of going in instead of backing out with that wraith. Might get him staggered late. One Trick with a great boop though.
Yeah, One Trick is going to save Straight Up Menace there, and he gets healed up. They might be able to stop them from taking the point here if they get a touch, but they might also just look to play back there. But Rhino going in is going to be able to buy a lot of space. Norman, again, just shredding through Rhino. There's not enough heals. The leap from Innocent is going to find him. And now it's just up to Straight Up Menace and One Trick to buy as much time as they can. But it might not be enough. Biso is along with him. And they are just so slippery right now, so hard to find. I feel like there's not enough people on the point right now, and Gurks and Supreme both going to find them there. Ice Volcano is going to find One Trick.
Yeah, great job staggering that last fight out, just making it last longer than it should have. That fight was very clean, and realistically, uOttawa should have gotten some kills when Menace was backing out.
Ooh,
Speaking
he's in
of,
a tricky spot
ouch.
there, yeah.
I believe he got caught in close spawn. That's just really, really unfortunate timing, just in general.
Yeah,
But-
and now SNHU is going to have to play pretty back here. uOttawa is going to be able to make up a lot of time and push the point pretty far here. Gergs just trying to get as much damage and ult charge as he can. He's working almost at a full ultimate here, but Pepto of his own is also nearing that.
Yeah, these slow fields are going to be what you're going to look for engages on both of these teams. They're just such a vital asset that when one goes out and is whipped, it's so huge.
Norman's going to take a lot of damage there. The Kitsune Rush comes out, but Rhino again is just going to get shredded by Norman. And now it's up to Straight Up Menace and Norman, but Norman's ultimate is going to find Straight Up Menace there. Both Death Blossoms coming out. The Overclock coming from Gergs is going to find a lot of value here on the players of SNHU. Pepto taking this duel with Gergs. They are both going at it here, but Gergs does have the healing. It might just be a stalemate here. Both Overclocks going out.
Yeah, that fight was really weird. Both teams committed a lot of resources, and now we're about even in the ult economy. This is going to be a quick fight coming in here from SNHU.
Ooh,
Great
Pepto
shot.
with that beat is going to be able to take out this high ground here by a lot of value, finds their tank, and now Ottawa's just forced off this point. This might halt them for a little while, and I feel like with the amount of time that SNHU completed that third push on, you don't have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah, there's very much not a lot of wiggle room to get a better time than SNHU here. 3 minutes on the clock for full capping Kings Row is a lot of time.
And
uOttawa's definitely going to be looking for any possible opportunity to just get this across the line here.
Yeah, and I think One Trick is trying to fish for a boop here, but it's hard to play around this corner right now. And the Primal does come out from Innocent there, trying to force Rhino to use his own there, but he's going to save it for his, probably to save himself there. And Innocent just going way too deep is going to be found by Straight Up Menace. Pepto with the Overclock is going to almost just barely scrape Supreme's head there. Now we see the two Sojourns going at it again. Gergs is going to fall to Biso actually with the snipe from the Kiriko knives.
Yeah, that's a huge stagger. One Trick got killed late, but that Lucio is going to be back really, really fast. That's a very good slow field from Pepto. Just give them that little bit of space and time for One Trick to get back and take this fight as 5.
Right, yeah, and Rhino is going to get out of there, but Norman finds a little pick on Straight Up Menace there. The ult comes out from Ice Volcano there, but same with Biso. They have the Kitsune Rush, but Innocent and Norman are just going to clean up most of SNHU.
Yeah, I think committing that Kitsune Rush without the Reaper, who is really your kind of main win condition with that ultimate, is kind of a risky play, and it just didn't work out. I respect it for just, trying to take the initiative and swing a fight.
Right, yeah, Gergs is going to, the boop is going to force Rhino off of there, and now they just have this high ground, and they have to contest it. Pepto is going to find that slow field on there, and is going to find Innocent. Gergs also finds a Straight Up Menace, and One Trick is going to find a pick on Supreme. Biso finding Norman is going to decide the outcome of that fight. It's going to be SNHU favorite there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those fights where if I'm Innocent, I might be looking at hitting the desk a little bit.
Yeah.
Just stands in the slow field for a little too long, and it costs his team the fight probably.
Yeah, Pepto almost getting picked there. A lot of players from SNHU are looking very low. The beat comes out for One Trick to try to save his life there, and Innocent does not care. He is going to push up further. Biso is going to fall to that Death Blossom. Gergs has his own Overclock here. This might be the last fight, but Pepto is going to slide in there with the right click. Melee is going to find Gergs, but Innocent trades that out, and now they are running on not a lot of time to stop this push here. They are working with less time than SNHU right now, but if they are able to take this push, they just take the map. Straight Up Menace is taking a lot of damage there, has to Wraith out. Rhino as well, standing in that slow field. He might have to Primal very early. Luckily, he leaps out and gets healed there. Gergs taking a fight with Pepto. Pepto very low, gets that invul to save his life there. That is a vital cooldown from SNHU used.
Yeah, Innocent going down early there is so huge. This comp relies a lot around your tank being able to enable your DPS to get value, and with Innocent down, that space is not being taken.
Yeah, and now Pepto on 3 health, just very low. The Kitsune Rush comes out from Biso. All the ults are coming out. Rhino has his Primal and is finding Supreme very low, just pushing everyone off the point here. One Trick trying to fight for his life here against Norman, and Rhino's going to do his best to help out there. Ice Volcano is going to find straight up Menace, though, in the back there, and Rhino falls shortly after, along with Biso. There's not a lot of people to contest this point left, and the payload is getting pushed in there. Big boot from One Trick. It is not going to buy enough time there. Straight up Menace falling, and Biso is the last one to be able to contest before Rhino gets in there, and he gets forced off the point, and that is round 2 of that map.
Yeah,
It goes to overtime now.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good for SNHU there. So much more time on that bank. I think that's something in the, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. uOttawa Garnet is going to have one fight to try and run this back. uOttawa gonna be the ones attacking first here. It's gonna be dicey.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's a very vital resource time that you're working with here, and SNHU does have 2 minutes and 5 seconds more of it, but it's really, it's really up to uOttawa to kind of set the pace here with their 1 minute, and they're going first on offense, so I feel like they're really going to set the pace for this overtime, and if they are able to get pretty far here, or even 3-point with 1 minute, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 is such a fun game to watch just because those plays are very possible. They always have been in Overwatch games, regardless of title in the franchise. But I think with that one less player, those kind of miracle runs are able to happen a little bit more if your team is really good.
Right, yeah. I feel like it's really it's easier to punish positioning with this 5-man setup.
Absolutely. Especially with no off tank. Off tank is kind of the band-aid that you can put on a lot of little issues.
Oh, we seen this last time, the slow field, and straight up Menace just gonna tank that there. Has to wraith out to get healed up. It might be a vital mistake there, but they are just gonna try to give as much space as they can, heal up, try to wait for their cooldowns. They are giving a little bit of objective capture, but you know, Rhino's not going to stop. He's not going to stop, and the slow field is going to come out, and that's a lot of damage, but still they are clapping back, and SNHU is looking pretty low here right now. Gerg's going to find straight up Menace there. It is a big pick. Norman walking far back into SNHU's backline here is going to be able to find Biso, but Pepto finds him afterwards with that slow field, but goes down shortly after. And then Innocent is going to find Rhino. And, I mean, they're just playing from behind here. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but now, I mean, that's all their time that they have. They're working on overtime right now.
Yeah, I think the miracle, like, best case scenario for SNHU here is for them to be able to hold uOttawa at this this archway choke. We're going to see if they're going to be able to be back in time to engage it. Looks like they may be.
Right, yeah, time really is the name of the game here right now. Every single second counts, and if they can stall, it is so big. Straight up Menace is going to find a lot of value, but that Wraith is going to come out very early. He knows it's a bait, though. The beat comes out, and Biso is going to find the headshot on Norman. Straight up Menace finding Innocent. Their tank falls, and the invuln comes out. Now it's really down to the rest of the players from uOttawa, but there's not many of them. Pepto has that overclock, and Biso going to find Ice Volcano, and that is the first round of overtime there.
Perfectly executed.
Yeah.
From SNHU Sapphire.
Yeah, I think that Wraith
we got some funny chat going in. Norman, get headshot simulator.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna flame on cast, but sounds like you got to be moving a little bit more, friend.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's think you just gotta move, just gotta not get hit.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is a movement game now with the changes to Overwatch 2. But now SNHU has their opportunity to play offense with their 3 minutes and 5 seconds that they have in the bank. And that's a lot more time that uOttawa started with. They started with 1 minute. So I'm really wondering if they're able to get, I mean, you're looking at maybe 2 pushes here, right, with these 3 minutes. It really depends on if you're able to capture that first point in the amount of time.
It's probably 2, maybe 3 pushes, depending on how quickly each team is able to wipe and get reset. Um, if a fight extends for a long time, it's going to be closer to that 2 fight mark. Realistically, both teams have been able to capture point A in first fight. I want to see if uOttawa is going to make any minor changes to how they play this, minor adaptations, like we saw with SNHU on that defense.
Right, yeah, and now they are just so far up already, but, I mean, they were looking pretty low there. The slow field is going to be able to chew into a lot of their health, and Straight Up Menace taking that railgun shot is going to take a lot of damage. But they are on point now. They're pushing him back into this corner. I feel like this is the optimal position, but not for Ice Volcano. Pepto's going to find that railgun shot on him, and now it's really up to the rest of the team to kind of work with this pick that they got. And Innocent's looking pretty low. He's going to have to back off there. I feel like you have to play really smart here if you're uOttawa, and this is probably the play to kind of give this first point.
Yeah, Archway Choke is so strong. I'm glad to see them not over-committing. But at the same time, SNHU has, I do believe they do have a pretty solid ult advantage right now. Their key abilities are going to be coming up very, very soon, especially Biso. You know, it's the double-edged sword of having great DPS is that if you have great DPS but aren't able to secure kills, the other team's healers are just going to get their ults, and their ults are probably as impactful as yours.
Right, yeah, and we see Biso working from the high ground to try to generate as much ult charge as he can there, and Innocent's looking low, but Gertz is going to find one trick there. The beat comes out from Supreme. It's going to be a lot of mitigation here. Will it be enough? Norman is going to go a little bit wide there on that headshot, and Gertz finds Pepto there. He is working with the overclock now. Not gonna use it during this fight. He has more time, and it is literally 4 meters away from capping there. And they have 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock. It is very tight window here for SNHU.
Yeah, you're gonna be the huge thing is Supreme commits the beat in that last fight. It was the correct play, but it's gonna leave Straight Up Menace a free opportunity to get a huge blossom out once that builds up.
Right, yeah, he is very close there, and now the beat is going to come out maybe a little bit early, but it's going to be able to do a lot. SNHU's pushing out very far here, but this hold is just so good from uOttawa. The overclock coming out from Gertz, going to use it this fight, and now he's looking for Pepto, taking this duel here. Not going to fully commit to it, not getting too greedy there. Pepto is going to continue to build his ult charge. But, you know, that's another 20, 30 seconds off the clock there from SNHU.
Yeah, this is last fight. No question about it.
Right, no beat, just Primal, just Death Blossom here for this fight. And the slow field already going to be committed to that zoning there from Gertz. It's going to be able to buy a lot of space, but Straight Up Menace, I think he got killed during his Death Blossom there. Norman also, but finds one trick before he goes down there. Pepto is going to make sure that he doesn't kill anyone else. The Primal is out from both of the tanks. And Gertz and Supreme finding Rhino and Biso. Pepto, it's all down to him. Straight Up Menace, one trick Biso. They are still on the point, buying as much time. They have the overtime. The beat is going to come out from Supreme, and that is a lot of leverage they have on this fight now. They're going to be able to take Rhino out before that touch, but they get it again with the Tracer switch.
Yeah, it's really frustrating for SNHU just to be in this situation.
It is down to the wire. They still have the overtime. Straight Up Menace is buying a lot of time. The overtime is running out there, though. It is very short. The ball switch not going to be able to get there in time before uOttawa captures or runs out that overtime.
Yeah. You know, it's really frustrating, especially if you're Menace. You've been going in trying to get really huge value out of those Death Blossoms, but it just hasn't been happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
hard.
just unlucky or if uOttawa is scouting them really well, but it's just a really unfortunate situation.
Right, it's very hard. We're going to take a look at the map order here again. I am pretty sure next it is Dorado. So uOttawa has 2 now. They have these first 2 maps, and this is match point for them.
Yeah, I mean it is, but we've seen plenty of reverse sweeps in every level of play. And I personally, even when it's not for my team, I always think they're kind of fun. It's always so fun to watch that team scratch and claw their way back from the brink. Of course, when you're on the other side of it, not so fun.
Right, we could see a 5-game here for this set. It would be very, very fun to watch. Especially, I'm looking at this 4th map here, the New Queen Street. I want to see the push.
Me too.
I want
me
to see the
too.
push. It's such a fun game mode. I love that game mode.
Yeah. You know, I've heard a lot of very polarized opinions on push as a game mode, but I am firmly of the camp that in the words of Diva, it's a skill issue.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I think legitimately, the more you practice push and the more coordinated you're able to be, the more fun that game mode is.
For sure.
It's very much a game mode with 5v5 gameplay in mind.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. It has those aspects of kind of, being your own entity and solo player. But, I mean, there's only so much you can do. And if you're walking around the map, even with, like, the cheeky flanks and stuff, as a team, that is just so devastating on that game mode. But that is unfortunately not the game mode we're playing.
Yep. Dorado, though. Dorado's a very fun
Yeah.
map. Unfortunately, there was a silly little lineup that Kresnik, when he was playing on DPS.
Oh, yeah, with the Hanzo.
With the
build?
Hanzo arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the lineup is a lot tougher now that the skybox has changed.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh,
it was
no.
lined up based off a star in the night sky.
Oh.
And we have progressed maybe 12 hours, probably something like 16, 18
Oh, yeah.
hours. Now we get the beautiful midday, like evening glow.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could still find the lineup, but it's
A little tougher.
It's a little tougher.
You know, I don't think any of the players in the roster, at least for DPS, have gone for it particularly consistently. But I always love seeing it.
Yeah,
It's so funny in scrims, rolling that out,
yeah.
and just the other team who's set up top just sees a sonic arrow come in from the sky.
Yeah. But we are ready to go into game here. We are on Dorado. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a very fun map, and has always been a map that has been very good for Winston. With so much high ground, it's very, 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 very solid for Winston with that jump hack to be able to just jump from building to building to building to building. It's kind of like Mirror's Edge, honestly. You're just running around having a good time.
Yeah, definitely a parkour map here for Winston. I feel like he gets a lot of value out of the kind of 2-story map that is the first section there before the first point capture. Definitely after it gets there, it's really open. I feel like that's the tricky part of this first point. Is
Yeah.
after you get under that bridge, it's kind of open. And you're usually working off of a push there, so you have the momentum there to kind of push it all the way in. But I feel like if you're not working off of a push, it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, we're gonna see Innocent alone, just gonna push this red building, try and get some early cleave, and maybe try and find an opportunity to get a pick on SNHU's backline. This is a very good spot to play and just get some early damage.
Yes.
Put the fear of Winston in your enemy team's heart.
Yeah, and we have Supreme right behind him here for that speed boost. Also maybe looking for the fishing, but Rhino goes in there and is body blocked. Not going to be able to get out there. Innocent is going to find him very early there. Trident Menace has to wraith out. They get a little bit of distance here, but not before Innocent pops down there for just to say hi. Kind of slow them down a little bit. But he is going to get bursted down there by Pepto.
Yeah, a lot of space garnered off that push, though. It might have seemed unsuccessful, but now you can see Innocent dislodged and Gerg's down.
Yeah, Gergs and Innocent are both down now. It is going to be a pretty decisive stagger here if they find any more, but they are trying their best to get out of here. It might not be enough. Twigloo and Supreme are both going to fall there. If they find Norman, that is a huge stagger there. Pepto finding that headshot is going to be big for SNHU.
Yeah, that kill is so late, and with Menace being so low, that just gives more ult charge to One Trick and to Biso. We can see uOttawa with a little bit more ult charge in the support category. Meanwhile, SNHU
Oh,
Sapphire.
they're going up there. They don't care. They are going up there. Straight up Menace is going to have to Wraith out. Rhino also leaping out, falling back to the confines of their team, getting healed up, but they are still moving the cart. It is pretty far, too. Gonna try to contest that high ground again. I feel like this is a very vital position to contest here, and all their players can do it, but Rhino is going to fall there without anyone else.
Yeah, it was a little bit spooky. I think there might have been a miscomm or a desync there as we saw Menace jumping in a little bit early.
He jumped up there, but I think he fell off immediately.
No, I think he hit it in the right side of the like right cubby area of that chapel. Regardless, it's in the past.
Oh, the Death Blossom from straight up Menace after that teleport is going to force out that beat, but not before Gurgs falls down there. Kitsune Rush coming out here. They have a lot of pressure on that underpass there. It might not be enough, though. He has to leap out of there. Innocent is gone, and now Pepto built in charge off this shield here.
Yeah, it's absolutely tragic for uOttawa. You want to be able to get value out of those supportals. They commit both of them and still lose the fight.
Oh my god, he has 100 charge. Look how long you can just hold this here. Boom, straight into Innocent there. Gonna take out all of his armor there. He's looking a little bit more squishy, and the overclock comes out, but Innocent and the Death Blossom go in. The leap's gonna find Biso, but not before the beat comes out from one shot. Gonna buy a lot of time for SNHU. Pepto's finding Gurg, but Twiglu not gonna go down there before Pepto can find him, and Innocent is going to he's going to take that cake there. Rhino has the primal ratio, going to buy a lot of time for SNHU. It is looking very dire for Innocent here. He jumps up for that leap, but it might not be enough. He doesn't have any healers here. Straight up Menace is going to find him, and now it's just really up to Supreme to buy as much time as he can. He is buying a lot, enough for Norman and Twiglu to show up here, but Twiglu might get killed here. Is not going to go down. Has that invuln. I severely underestimated that, and now Pepto is going to fall to Norman, and they get that team kill right before the point capture.
Yeah, SNHU should have won that, plain and simple, but uOttawa's DPS just decided to backpack. It's as simple as that, folks. I mean, not every fight is a calculated. Let's rotate through 50 different ways. Sometimes you just hit shots.
Right. Yeah. Definitely, and Supreme is going to force him off of that high ground there. Rhino's looking a little bit alone. Straight up Menace going to fall to Gurgs there, and Norman going to find Rhino as he leaps away.
Menace just not respecting Gurgs at all night, and it's bit him more often than not. Menace commits the ult, and before one die even goes out, just shot in the head. I think they need to play more carefully around the Sojourn Railgun. Such a vital tool in terms of getting an early pick, and it's just not being shown the respect that it deserves.
Right, Gurgs has been actually just dealing so much damage for uOttawa onto SNHU here. And now SNHU is going to try to play from the right side here. They both got their high grounds. It's going to be really up to the Sojourns to dish out a lot of damage from this distance. But Rhino is soon trying to change that. Gonna dash down there, but I mean, Innocent is right behind him. Straight up Menace looking very low is gonna fall to Supreme. And now Rhino trying to deal as much damage to these supports up on the high ground there, but the Kitsune Rush comes out from uOttawa. It's gonna be a lot of pressure here. Norman finding Biso and One Trick and Pepto falling shortly after there to him too. He's gonna pick up that kill on Rhino. 4 kills from Norman there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're uOttawa, these two DPS players are those players they really just don't want to ever graduate. Like, they've been so consistent at being those shutdown players. Those stalwart defenders coming in clutch. They have a clutch gene. They have a clutch gene, Connor.
Right, yeah, they definitely do got that clutch gene. And I feel like they've just turned so many unfavorable positions on their heads there. Straight up Menace is going to Wraith under that underpass there, trying to find, I mean, anything there, trying to get out of them. But, you know, One Trick going in, just with that beat straight up, and Innocent's going to have to pop his Primal Rage. It's going to be a vital cooldown there. And Pepto trying to find as much as he can. Not before Norman gets that double kill on Death Blossom. Gurg's gonna pop the overclock, finds Rhino. And, you know, Takes a little stroll through that garden there. Gets that team kill. It's 13 seconds on the clock.
Gurks gets the kill on Pepto immediately out of spawn. Just not getting shut down ever. That you know, as you alluded to earlier, that railgun holds its charge for a ludicrously long time. I believe it's 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's just so long, but Rhino has that primal. It's not going to be enough for Gurks to shut him down there. Innocent is going to find Biso, and Straight Up Menace finding the Twiglu. Now Pepto's on the point, buying as much time as he can. Gurk tracking that recall there perfectly, and One Trick and Pepto fall. Overtime burns out here on SNHU.
Absolutely not a lost map though for either team. Like,
yeah,
not a lost map, not a one map for either team. This
right.
is
that
very
was
much still up in the air.
That was a really good push there from SNHU. They managed to get almost 2 points there. The K from the payload did buy a little bit of space there for uOttawa, so they have a pretty forgiving position to push to. But also, I feel like holding there where uOttawa did is just a really nice position to hold. So if SNHU can get, you know, replicate the same kind of hold there, I feel like it could be anyone's game here.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And I don't have class for tomorrow. I'm hoping that this is in banger territory. I'm hoping we get to see a map 5.
I don't know, Matt, but I am totally down for a 5-game map here. I'm totally down for a 5-game set.
Yeah, I mean they're always so fun to watch. Overwatch League Grand Finals this year. I know I watched it. Oh man, 7 map Grand Finals.
Oh yeah, it was.
That was so nuts.
It was so good. I feel like, I mean, every game esports in general this season or this year has just been so good, especially for OWL. But going into this next round, we see them kind of holding a similar position here to uOttawa in the start, except I feel like One Trick and Straight Up Menace have traded spots.
Indeed they have.
Straight Up Menace holding very far up here. Innocent gonna get booped off there. But Supreme is just left alone up here. Straight Up Menace finding that pick there on Supreme. Not before falling off, but it's not going to be a big deal. He probably wants to be on the ground anyways. Going to wraith out of there. But now they can just hold this house for as long as they want again.
Yeah, I'd like to know what was going in Supreme's mind. Meanwhile, Gergs just gets the widow pick.
Yeah, he's trying to find them on that house there. Isn't going to be able to look quite over it. Innocent trying to find as much damage on Rhino there. Twiglu going to force his invul now on himself to try to save him from Straight Up Menace. Just tearing into his team, not getting enough tension drawn to him, but Innocent almost going to fall there to Straight Up Menace, and now it's up to Straight Up Menace and Norman taking that duel there. Gergs is coming in though, and he is unforgiving with his aim. He is trying to find a headshot here, and he is finding a lot of damage. This
is really, really scrappy though. uOttawa able to get past archways here, which is so huge. If SNHU is able to take a fight, they're going to be payload decay is going to be the big thing coming in. Very even fight right now.
Right, this is a very even fight, and the Kitsune rush comes out from Biso. Twiglu is dead. It is going to be a very big Kitsune rush. Norman finds Rhino. Their tank is down. Pepto going to find Norman, but Innocent finds Pepto. It's not going to be enough. They still have their tank. Innocent is buying so much pressure and space here. That leap up is going to, I mean, buy a lot of time there. Straight Up Menace does not have enough time there to stall the point.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Menace was about 2 inches too short to get that last touch, and no extension able to be gained for this first point.
Right now, and fighting for this high ground here is going to be very vital. Both bubbles go down. They are pushed off of that. For now, Pepto is going to find that stagger on Twiglu. It is a big pick. And now the slow field is kind of pushing them off there. It's buying a lot of time for them to regroup right now.
Connor, I don't want to alarm you, but I'd like to draw your attention to the uOttawa Garnet ult bank.
That is a scary picture to put into my mind. 5 ultimates from uOttawa ready to go here. They are just waiting to pull the trigger right now. And it might be soon. Straight Up Menace just burned his right there. One Trick getting very close to the beat though. It could be a pretty even all out here if they do spend all 4 to 4. the Kitsune Rush, I feel like it's going to be kind of negated there by the beat, but Twiglo is going to fall there. If they do dedicate these ultimates right now, it better be pretty decisive.
Yeah, Pepto has just been farming these last couple of fights, and now Biso is at 60%, 65% to that Kitsune Rush. We might be in a full 5v5 chaos comp, like just fight. Just the buttons, they might just be pressed.
There might be a lot of Q pressing going on right now. They are working from this high ground here. I don't really like the position that uOttawa's in. It could be pretty devastating for either Death Blossom. You need to make sure you cover that, though. Straight up, Menace is going to fall down, find Twiglo and Supreme. It is a big find. Innocent gonna find his pick of his own one trick, but not before Straight up Menace just shreds through him. And now the rest of uOttawa is just going to crumble.
Okay, I got very confused for a second because somehow my brain registered that Biso was the one that Biso also used Kitsune Rush and also got to 90% at the end of that fight.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happened. I'm just not paying attention. Meanwhile, SNHU, with a bit of an ult advantage there, at some point there, Gurg pops that overclock and doesn't get much value.
I feel like the longer this game goes on, the more exciting it gets. We just see so many plays being made by both teams here. And Rhino and Innocent dueling it out here. The overclock comes out from Pepto. They still have more ults than uOttawa to work with here. The beat going to come out from Supreme, and the Kitsune Rush is going to buy a lot of time from Biso here. The beat and Kitsune Rush are a deadly combo, just tearing into uOttawa here. Supreme, Innocent, Norman all falling. Gurgs trading with Pepto. Gonna try to find that revenge, and Rhino just coming in from downtown with that leap, gonna take Gurgs out.
Yeah, no, nobody respects the 1v1 anymore.
Yeah.
It's a lost art.
I was gonna say something like that, but
but now we have 2 primals in the works. Menace coming up a little soon, actually a lot sooner on that Death Blossom. Meanwhile, Gurg's about 20% ahead of Pepto on that overclock. Although Gurgs did pop it earlier, so maybe on pace to have actually even ults yet again very soon.
The ult economy is just so even, but not now. Rhino is going to pop his ultimate Primal Rage in order to try to push him off of this high ground here. Innocent still working with his own. It's going to be up to the rest of SNHU to try to build their ultimates here before Innocent goes in, but it might not be enough time. Innocent is going to go in. Pepto going to find that pick on Norman with that headshot. It's going to be a lot of pressure here. Straight up Menace going to find Supreme. Innocent doesn't know, but he's not working with the team. He has no one left, and he is going to leap out there, but not before Pepto finds that railgun shot on him.
You know, your consolation prize is Menace's head.
Yeah.
But Innocent going down so late makes it kind of null and void. Menace is going to have that Blossom. Pepto about 20% away from that Death Blossom. Meanwhile, support ult's about even-ish.
They're working on 30 seconds here. It is down to the wire.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that it's gone this long. Time flies when you're having fun, and we are having fun in the middle of this game.
Yeah, Straight up Menace with that Death Blossom is not going to find much here, but Gurgs is going to fall there. That is a big pick. Pepto with the retreating head, or not edge, or overclock shot on Norman is going to find him there. That is a big pick. And now it is down to these 3 players left on uOttawa. The Kitsune Rush is just going to melt through Supreme and Innocent. They're both falling there. Twiglu shortly after is going to get headshot by Biso. They got the touch there from Gurgs with the Tracer pick. Norman wraithing in there to buy as much time for his teammate to get the touch. Gonna find that second touch there. The overtime is, it's burning down right now. They have the ball pick. It is not fast enough. They are going to take that map with a surprising comeback.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a match on our hands, Connor.
Yes, sir.
Oh, such a huge map for SNHU. Just that defense was so unbreakable. Gurg is going down late in that, early in that last fight. Just so integral to SNHU being able to secure that map and stay in the series.
Yeah, right. They got their heads in the game now. I feel like they're working with the momentum. Time to break out those hand warmers. We are getting serious now.
The big thing is you got to think, especially in that map, this game determines SNHU's seeding.
Yeah.
Going into playoffs. Not all games have been played by all teams yet, so it's a little bit in flux. But winning this match will put them up at least 1 spot.
Yeah, both of
in
these
rankings.
teams are 5-1 right now,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it is just so close. But we are going to, I think we're going to, might be going straight into next game. It looks like players are kind of taking a break, but what do you think of what do you think of that map in general? I feel like a lot happened, and it's really hard to unpack, but definitely the DPSs on both teams really had a lot of playmaking there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Overwatch, Overwatch is a game of resources. So we're gonna go quickly into map review here.
Yeah.
As I
So
go
we
over
got
this.
the push, right? We got push now. So we got what we wanted. We got what we came for. It's New Queen Street. We're here.
Yeah. So Overwatch is a game of resources, and it's not always particularly obvious what your resources are. Time, shields, abilities. Those are the main ones that are pretty obvious. Time being kind of an abstract one that a lot of new players won't pick up on, but things like space and stuff like that just are all resources at your disposal. So really, Overwatch is just a resource management game with extra steps. Like really,
Yeah, for sure.
if you're able to better use your cooldowns and such, it really is gonna put you in a much better spot to succeed, since those individual plays can come out, but they're not as impactful as a game like COD.
Yeah, and we are ready to go into game now. I definitely agree with you. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty 50-50 for like aiming and then, team fight, right? Like the cooldowns is like also just as important as aiming, but I mean on some of these characters you just don't really need to aim, right?
Yeah.
Like Moira, you only aim on Moira, you only aim on Winston, but I mean it really comes down to game knowledge, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. We got waters being doled out to the players here. This is a big series.
Yeah, it is getting serious. It is getting heated in here. And I can feel the tension between these two teams. They are just going to go neck to neck on this map. I feel it.
Yeah, two separate countries, but the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
Just to add, a nice cliche to the cast.
Yeah. And they're going to play around this statue here. It provides a lot of cover, and it also kind of serves as a high ground here. I don't really like playing with that overpass there. But Straight Up Menace just going to dive so deep there. He has his Wraith to get out, but now his Wraith is burned. Innocent, though, is also burned. Straight Up Menace is going to find him there as he pushes around that statue. It is a big pick on their tank from uOttawa. One Trick trying to look for these boops here, not going to find it. Ooh, or is he? He's going to find that poop on Norman. A very big find. Now they are just going to push into the rest of uOttawa's team, and they have that first push going on now.
Yeah, I mean, One Trick, a player known, at least to me, as one who is not shy to look for those boops, and it came in clutch there, removing a Reaper from the game. Supreme has been able to live in situations where I think he probably should die very, very, very effectively. I'm very impressed by his level of play tonight.
Yeah, I feel like that's both of these supports here, Supreme and One Trick, just get away with a lot. And Norman, Twiglu gonna find Pepto Straight Up Menace there. They have some big picks here, and they're going to be able to work with their first push here. It's not going to be very far before they take the lead. They didn't manage to push that far with their first push, but now we're going to really see the kind of game plan of push shine. Gerx is going to try to hold it very up here, and I mean it's hard to work around this push because you can really flank from any position in the map. It is such an open map, and the Kitsune Rush is going to come out along with the beat from uOttawa. It is a big defense here. They're just dedicating so much. It is actually a mirror ult, both Kitsune Rush and beats coming out. Straight Up Menace is going to find Norman. That is a pretty good pick here on their DPS. Pepto has the overclock, going to find Supreme and Twiglu. It is 2 picks here on Pepto's overclock, and Straight Up Menace just going to clean up Gergs there. They have their robot. They got the robot. They are working with the push.
Connor, are we watching Overwatch or Aim Labs? I need an update. Pepto just getting so many kills off that overclock, just legitimately just a game of Aim Labs.
Yeah, for sure. We got a bit of Kovacs Aim Labs on our hand. And now Rhino is also going to hold very up here. I feel like, did Innocent leap to get there? No, he didn't. Oh, no, he did. He's still in there. He's has enough time to leap out again. But he's going to pop the Primal Rage. Just so much space taken from Innocent here. Going to push Rhino back into his team. He has to pop his Rhino Primal Rage of his own. Pepto going to find Supreme and Gurks there, though a very nice find from Pepto without his overclock as well.
Yeah, that's just so huge. With this fight, unless uOttawa engages really, really fast, SNHU might be able to get Blood Scratch here. Might be able to get this checkpoint.
Right, and if they get that checkpoint, they have the forward sponsor, which is a lot of momentum and pressure they're working with. Innocent drops down there, is going to have to leap right back up there, but Gurks does find one trick with that railgun shot. So Straight Up Man is falling straight after that. Pepto will find their tank, though. Both tanks are down right now, and now it's really up to Pepto to try to fall back here. He has Biso to work with on this retreat.
Yeah, SNHU is going to be up here. Even though there were about even kills going into that fight, since SNHU got those close spawns, it's just so big.
Yeah, they're just able to get there so fast there. Pepto popping his overclock, is looking for a headshot there, not going to find it. And there is his overclock. The Kitsune Rush comes out from Twiglu. Biso has his own, the beat coming out from One Trick. They're trying to offset, I think, in case they have beat here. But the One Trick going to try to boop him off there. Not going to be enough. One Trick, Biso both falling there. But Pepto will find his own trade of his own on Norman. And shortly after, going to fall to the Supreme. Rhino on 7 health there is going to get staggered a little bit.
Yeah, it's better than Rhino trying to get out there, because that would have just been even worse.
Right, yeah, a longer stagger, because you don't have a lot to work with on 7 health, right? It's just a tap from anything there, and you're dead.
Yeah, you could get looked at the wrong way, and 7 health will just vanish.
Yeah, right.
That is psychic damage territory. Like.
Yeah. And now they're just pushing so hard. Supreme looking very low, not going to fall there. Norman finding 3 with his Death Blossom, and Rhino he's also going to find without the Death Blossom. Very big play from Norman.
I would like to point out, though, the only ult for uOttawa Garnet is that Primal Rage, which is not a big fight turning ult. SNHU Sapphire are going to be a lot closer on those DPS ults. That Kiriko duel is in the favor of uOttawa Garnet right now, though.
Right, yeah, and now they're trying to push up into this cubby here. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but they do manage to take it. Innocent going to try to buy as much time as he can. They're pushing back up, but losing a lot of health. He's going to have to drop down here. And now Rhino is kind of forcing him back into his team, but it's not enough. Norman is going to find so much damage on Pepto there. Taking the duel, Pepto does win that with the help of One Trick, is going to find that boop. Innocent just trying to make up for it with as much pressure as he can. Biso with the triple multiplier, just so much damage from the headshot. And now Rhino just barely going to get saved by Biso there with his leap back. Gurks resetting, and that is a team kill.
Yeah, that's so huge, and because bot moves so fast when not pushing the objective there, this fight is going to be pretty even. Those close spawns no longer there for uOttawa Garnet. 3.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I feel like 3 minutes is a lot of time to work with, but it runs out very quickly on push. Pepto is actually going to find 2 picks going into this fight here. He does have overclock ready. He's not going to use it. Save it for next fight. Trying his best to find Norman there. Is going to be able to land a lot of damage, but not take him out entirely.
Yeah, I do believe that last railgun went on to Innocent. That Kiriko rush coming in very, very early.
Yeah, that is a weird place to put that Kitsune Rush. And now the duel from the Sojourns is going to go to Pepto. He gets a headshot. It is picks all around the board here for SNHU. A team kill there.
The engines are roaring for SNHU. SNHU being able to take the lead here. This is such a pivotal fight. Just being able to give SNHU that space lead, that distance lead. This could be the fight that we look back to.
Right, yeah. There is still 2:30 on the clock here. And they did find Rhino with that slow field. It is a pretty big pick. They are trying their best to get Innocent here. He has the invuln, though. It is not going to be enough. and they are going to find Pepto there. Straight up Menace, the last member of SNHU standing there on the point, along with Biso, is gonna get staggered.
Yeah, One Trick was also there playing in the skybox, just trying to live as long as possible.
He was he was too far up skating. I couldn't see him there.
Yeah, you know, he's just chilling. uOttawa does have a lot of ults here. SNHU is just going to look to try and get some of those ults out with these close spawns. Take a better, more advantage fight next fight, I think.
Right, I feel like timing these pushes is a very important part of this game mode. Working with the time here, Straight Up Menace is going so far in, is saved by that bubble there, but Rhino will not be saved by that bubble there. Does not have enough health to get him out of there. Pepto, it might fall to Norman here. Supreme is going to clean up and find him. And now SNHU really has to retreat to try to save as much time here. They are not going to be able to before Gergs finds Straight Up Menace there. And I feel like if you push up more here, you're working in dangerous territory, but Gergs is going to do it anyways, finds that railgun shot. Rhino going in, has the Primal Rage, going to try to push his their team to him, and the beat comes out. Rhino's looking pretty low, and the Death Blossom from Norman's going to find Rhino and Bistro, a devastating Death Blossom. Now, One Trick looking very low there, is going to have to, is forced to retreat to his team, and that is a pretty decisive push there from uOttawa. They will take the lead.
Yeah, they used almost everything though.
Yeah, with 50 seconds on the clock, it's not a lot of time, but SNHU does have these ultimates that are building up. It might be a decisive push. The beat comes out, and the beat is going to be able to save Rhino there. A very important thing. He does not live long enough though, and the Primal Rage comes out, is going to be able to find Pepto. That is a big pick. One Trick trying to stall as long as he can.
Those DPS ults just didn't come out, and that might be huge. Can Rhino get the touch?
If Rhino gets the touch, he does get the touch. It is contested, and they have the ults. The overclock is running. Straight Up Menace with the savior. 2 kills from the Death Blossom. Finds Gergs as well, and now is going to have to work with his Wraith form. He is still contesting, buying as much time. That lifesteal is coming in handy, but it does not work into that shield there. He will fall. Norman finding Straight Up Menace, but now looking very low. They have the forward spawns. They might be able to make it back. Norman going to find Rhino. Big stagger there. They are working on overtime, and without a tank for now, it's going to be difficult if they find picks here on SNHU.
Yeah, uOttawa's going to be looking to Garnet. Meanwhile, Pepto is going to be the saving grace for SNHU, just trying to get early picks here. Biso as well with that 3x headshot multiplier, able to find some early picks. If you're SNHU, those early picks are your lifeline. Those are the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right, you always have to have one person on this spot as well. It's going to be very hard because you have a very restricted play style that you have to work around the spot here. Straight Up Menace is going to push forward there and have to Wraith out. And not enough healing. Norman's going to find 2 with the Death Blossom on the point. That is what I'm talking about. Just so much area denial is going to be able to push them off of that. And the beat comes out, and that will be the map for uOttawa, securing the match and set.
Yeah, despite the scoreline though, very close match. Each of those maps could have gone either way.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, these DPSs on both teams are just actually tearing it up tonight. During the Kitsune Rush, that Death Blossom is just so deadly. It kills in like less than half a second. It's so fast.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It does the same amount of damage in half the time.
Yeah. It's so good. I feel like these teams finding the potential of that Kiriko is just so vital for the meta right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is going to be all of the Overwatch that we have for you tonight. uOttawa takes that win, and if you want more of what you just saw, which I definitely do, I don't know about you, but we have our Twitter, we have our Instagram, and we have our TikTok. Go check those out. It is SNHU Esports. That is our handle, at SNHU Esports. So make sure to check us out on that. And we do have Granite State Grind coming up as well.
We do.
Right, that is on the 13th. Signups are open, right?
Yes, we do.
Right. So we got those signups open. It's open to the public. Anyone can join in and play. So if you want to play some Smash, play Granite State Grind.
Please sign up. It's always a really fun event, and with the long weekend here, it's gonna be I think there's gonna be a whole new vibe coming into GSG
it's
this
gonna
month.
be fun. It's gonna be so fun.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. So other than that, that's a wrap. That's all we have for you tonight. So we'll see you at Granite State Grind. Maybe see you then.
Yeah.
Here on their DPS, Pepto has the overclock, gonna find Supreme and Twigloo. It is 2 picks here on Pepto's overclock. Because he can't be so with the triple multiplier, just so much damage from the headshot. And now Rhino, that is a weird place to put that Kitsune Rush. And now the duel from the Sojourns is going to go to Pepto. He gets a headshot. It is the ults. The overclock is running straight up menace with the Savior. 2 kills from the Death Blossom. Finds Gurks as well. Norman in the lifesteal, keeping him alive. He does not fall yet. He is not done. He's going to continue to just gonna find 2. Norman finding Rhino, and Gurks gonna clean up straight up menace. Now it's just Biso here. Yeah, but he has his overclock. Gonna find the headshot on Norman.
Yeah,
and
they can standing on the health back there.
Yeah, and the Death Blossom from half there, but Norman is going to make up for it with the double kill on that Death Blossom. Looking for one trick here. Will he find him? He is very low. He's going to be able to, as his ult, Gurgs is going to be harassed by one trick right now. Actually has the overclock. One trick actually just, and straight up Menace finding Ice Volcano along with Rhino finding Gurgs. Straight up Menace just cleaning up, probably to save himself there. And Innocent just going way too deep is going to be found by straight up going to find that slow field on there and is going to find Innocent. Gurg's also finding straight up Menace, and one trick is going to find, knows it's a bait though. The beat comes out, and Biso is going to find the headshot on Norman. Straight up Menace finding Innocent. Their tank falls, and Pepto trying to find as much as he can, not before Norman gets that double kill on Death Blossom, but just tearing into uOttawa here. Supreme, Innocent, Norman all falling. Gurgs trading with Pepto, gonna try to find that with that Death Blossom is not gonna find much here, but Gurgs is going to fall there. That is a big pick here on their DPS. Pepto has the overclock, gonna find Supreme and Twigloo. It is 2 picks here on Pepto's overclock. He can't be so with the triple multiplier, just so much damage from the headshot. And now Rhino, that is a weird place to put that Kitsune Rush. And now the duel from the Sojourns is going to go to Pepto. He gets a headshot. It is the ults. The overclock is running straight up menace with the Savior. 2 kills from the Death Blossom. Finds Gurks as well. And Norman in the lifesteal, keeping him alive. He does not fall yet.